Hello everybody, welcome to Skish, and today we're going over Frieren Season 2, Episode 7. So I just want to clarify a few things or get some stuff out of the air. I know feels like forever since we've done an episode with the Olympics delaying Episode 6 coming out by a week, and then I got sick, and I literally didn't watch Episode 6 until yesterday, which is when the new Frieren Episode 7 already came out, so I was already a week behind. Basically, main point I want to drive for Episode 6, and not a whole lot that went on that episode, but there's one big point I want to drive, and we're going to get to that in just a little bit. And then we're going to fully review, like we usually do, Episode 7. It's going to be a little bit different today because we're going to kind of throw two episodes into one, but it's really just going to be a snippet of one episode. The episode was a great episode. Episode 6 was awesome. It was great. Everything about it I really liked. It's just not a whole lot happened. What one big main event did happen, there weren't a lot of different things. It was one big thing, and we're going to go over that, and then there's one point I want to drive home. So let's just get right into both reviews for episodes and move on from there, shall we? So episode 6 was pretty much a massive siege on a village in the Northern Plateau, which is where we know everybody is right now. It's where the main stuff's going on, by demons. These demons found this small village, and they attacked it. They didn't just attack it, they mutilated it. They mutilated the people in the village. There's actually no one left in the village. I think every single person either fled or died. There's no one in the village anymore, and the buildings are just massacred. I think other than the church, there's like nowhere else to go that doesn't have a hole in the roof. Throughout the whole episode, we just see the demons just destroying everything. There's fires, just insane stuff going on. And then this one part here is what kind of drives us into the next big episode. You see this ominous looking demon with these horns and these red eyes, and it's just one of the scariest looking things in this entire show. Like, that might be the scariest thing that this show has ever produced. Fires burning, flags burning, everything is just chaos. Other than the massive siege, we see Ganao, which he was actually a member of this village. He grew up in this village, so seeing all this, you would think would affect him, but he's kind of like a Kunade type character. And we see Method. Glad to see Method back. I just want to say we're very glad to see Method back. She's an awesome character. These two are in this village. They get sent there by Seide to monitor the situation, protect it, and stuff like that. And that's really what we get through the rest of the episode. That these two converse, Frieren and Fern and Stark show up, and they just kind of talk about what the plan is with this whole thing. Because this is a diabolical thing that happened. This is a really, really horrible thing that the demons did. So the main point that I want to drive in this episode, and I think that they try to make very clear throughout the whole show, but this episode specifically makes it abundantly clear, is that demons are horrible. Demons have no remorse. Demons do not care about anybody. They will trick you. They will fool you. They will backstab you. Demons are not human. Get that out of the air. Demons are not human. Demons are not good in any aspect of any way. I want to make that abundantly clear because there's been a lot of talk about Frieren specifically as the series being like, I hate to use the term, but I'm going to use the term anyway, racist towards demons. There's a lot of stuff I see on Twitter all the time. There's always these threads showing up, always these people saying like, Frieren's a terrible person because she destroys demons without no remorse, blah, blah, blah. And this is why. This is exactly why. We go back to shots of the village. Ganao is carrying his childhood friend, who he grew up with, the baker's son, in his last dying moments. He has a slit through his stomach. He's dying. There's no one left. All these people were killed. All these people were slaughtered. No remorse. All these people were slaughtered. It kind of really irks my bird when people go on Twitter and say like Frieren is this horrible show and it has no values for the, why don't they just listen to the demons? The demons, maybe if they just could be heard, they're fine. They're probably getting that sense from the small talk they got from Aura in season 1, where you could actually communicate with her in more of a normal way. She seemed to be the one demon where there was like, okay, maybe there's a hint of humanity in this. I could, maybe someone could see that from her, but it's not possible. Demons do not care about anybody. So that's the main point of episode 6, was to show that demons are horrible. They have no remorse for humans. They are the absolute biggest enemy of the humans. They will do anything to kill them. They will backstab, lie, cheat, slaughter all these people, kids, children, women, all of them. They'll just kill them. So that's the main point, and really what I want to cover over episode 6. Frieren and Fern and Stark join, obviously, as I said before, and they kind of conjure up a plan on what to do about this situation, because the demons are still near. Basically, in this episode, they go over the destruction, and they try to conjure up a plan on what's going on. But really not a lot other than that happens in episode 6. But it was still a great episode. But again, the main point I want to drive is that demons are horrible. They are not good. And like I said, it irks my bird to see people talk about like these demons trying to be like this good thing, but they're horrible. They are the absolute worst thing in this series. in this whole fantasy world. They are the worst. So demons suck. This episode made it abundantly clear. It really nailed the hammer down on just how bad demons are. They don't care about anything. They suck. And that was basically the main driving point of episode 6. So with that being said, let's go to episode 7. So episode 7 starts off here. We have Ganao and Method. They get teamed up by Sede to go to this Northern Plateau village and basically defend it and see what's going on up there. They are not particularly great. Well, I want to say Ganao is particularly not a great partner to work with. He's very dry, very mundane. He doesn't really seem to care a whole lot about anyone. He kind of doesn't really see himself as all that great of a person, but they get paired up, and again, happy that Method's back. She's great. We love Method. Absolute great character. These two get sent to the Northern Plateau in the village to go see what the hell happened. And throughout all this, we come to find Ganao's ex-partner here ended up getting killed trying to protect a child from an attacking demon. I don't know whether he carries, it seems to be that he carries this sort of remorse for it. He doesn't really show it. He doesn't really specifically say it, but he seems to carry this sort of guiltiness to him. And I love these shots here. We get a precursor to what's about to come. I mean, this is the scary demon that we saw, if you can kind of link the two together. The scary demon that we saw in the prior episode of episode 6, the 4-armed, quadruple sword-wielding demon with unhuman-like characteristics. So while the whole group is here, everybody's finally in this church. They're kind of conjuring up evidence on what happened here. They realized that through the sword markings and things like that, that this demon was not particularly normal. He was way less humanoid. They conclude that he had to have 4 arms. Based through the scratch marks or the sword marks on the victims here, they conclude he has 4 arms. So they're dealing with something that is a lot more experienced and highly skilled than what they're used to. This is where we get our first look at the demon. This is Lord Revolt. This guy is menacing. He's huge. And I love the juxtaposition here of the scary red eye 4-armed demon and then this little, you could say, lolly character next to him with just like the absolute happiness. Doesn't really seem to care about anything in the world. And then you have this monstrosity of a creature right in front of him. And they're just kind of casually talking. I kind of thought that the demon would like hurt her in some way. He didn't, which was kind of surprising to me because he kind of has that sense to him where he'll just like, if you insult him, he won't let you know until you're already dead. You know what I mean? So Revolt seems to be a really, really smart character. He already knows or can guess what's going to happen. He knows that there's extra people in the village protecting it, and he knows that people are dead, and he knows what humans do with their dead. They protect them. So he kind of already assumes people are going to stay back, and unfortunately, he is correct. Basically, their plan is to go make another attack towards the guards of the village at this point. So the team decides to split up. We see Fern, Frieren, and Method all go their own separate way. Stark originally was going to go with them, but Ganao was going to stay back and protect the dead, and Stark decided to stay back with him. And we don't necessarily know how strong Ganao is yet, but we do know he's a first-class mage, so we know he can really hold his own against a lot of things, but I think it's better that Stark stays there because Stark is a really strong character, and this will be a great experience for him, if nothing bad happens. I don't know if anything will. I just, God forbid, anything bad happens to Stark or anyone for that matter. So they're back here. Ganao and Stark kind of just resting by the fire. Caravan is supposed to show up and collect the body, so that's why they're there. They're kind of reflecting. He said, Stark, you're a good person. Stark doesn't really think so because in Stark's village was also ransacked by demons, and he didn't stay. He ran away. So he doesn't really necessarily see himself as a good person. He probably views himself as a little bit of a coward. You know what? He does seem to have this apprehension towards battles most of the time. He probably compares himself to Aizen how many times a day? Because Aizen not only was this person part of the heroes party that defeated the Demon King, but he worked with Frieren constantly. So who knows what's going on in Stark's head? And with this whole situation, being very familiar with the ransacked village and things like that, he probably is having a lot of self-reflection right now. After their chit-chat, we go back to Method, Frieren, and Fern. And I like this that we get a little bit of comic relief in this scene because, pretty much because Method's here. We obviously love Method. And I like how she views everybody smaller than her as just this cutest thing in the whole wide world. She's already plotting. You can see her face. She's already plotting on what to do. It's entirely like adorable that she's asked Frieren to pet her. She wants to constantly pet Sede. She wants to pet Frieren and just treat things that are smaller than her with the absolute most care and like nurturing type of thing in the whole wide world. I love giving head pats to small girls. Like Method's just great. She's a very needed relief character, especially for what's going on. And here we see Method petting Sede. She obviously does not like it in any sense of the way. And this is one of my favorite parts too. Fern tries to protect Frieren from this threat. Fern's massive frown and just her eyebrows be apprehensive. I absolutely love like this scene. This is peak Frieren right here, okay? Forget the fights. This is peak Frieren right here. Method here enticing Frieren with a Grimoire. Fern is upset. Method is unbelievably happy, and Frieren couldn't be happier because she gets a Grimoire out of it, which the Grimoire, if you didn't pick up on, is one where when you crack an egg, you don't get any shells in the bowl. There's nothing better than a type of spell that doesn't let you get eggshells in the bowl. Huge problem. I know I deal with that almost every day. That'd be a great Grimoire for me. And she has to hug her. And the whole scene here is just great comic relief because episode 6 was just nothing but bad. Everything prior to this was nothing but bad. Fern is yet again jealous. And I love this part right here. She tries to pull Frieren out of Method's diabolical grasp, but she can't do it. And Frieren is just going with whatever. She doesn't care what happens. And unfortunately, this is where the fun ends. So they sense the demons up in the sky. And this is basically where the attack begins. You know, the demons realized and knew that people would be back in the village, and they went to go hunt them because their goal is to kill humans. And these two demons are really badass too. I will say, I love the design of these demons. Like, I love when the eyes are covered in characters. I absolutely love when they do that with characters. And this guy's really cool too. I love his staff. The jingling of the staff we got in the last episode was awesome, and it's very eerie. I want one of those staffs for myself. So they're so cool. So basically, the demons start this assault on these three. They split them up. Frieren and Fern are left alone, and Method is left with her own to fight as well. Fern makes a point about how the demons are flying and how I thought demons couldn't only study one type of magic, but it turns out that demons just are so good at flying. Like, Frieren compares it to walking. Like, you don't think about walking, you just do it. And that's kind of how demons view flying. It's not necessarily a type of magic to them, it's just second nature. And these demons look particularly powerful. Like, these guys are no small threat. These have been around the block a time or two. And it's interesting that Frieren kind of pins the battle on Fern to get her the experience. And Fern is, like Stark earlier, very apprehensive. She probably compares herself a lot to Frieren in the sense that, you know, what type of mage is she? Even though she carries the title of first-class mage, she probably realizes that Frieren is the better mage. Frieren is being a great mentor and making Fern stand for her own battles. So this is the last type of scene we get with these three battling the two demons. It then transitions to our next fight, the fight against Revolt. Stark and Ganao kind of talking about what happened and just kind of chatting it up, and Ganao brings up that Demon Lord Revolt was the one that killed his partner. So we kind of can assume who's going to show up here next, and it's Demon Lord Revolt, and he's probably hungry for revenge. He does not show his emotion on his face, but he is probably very, very, very angry and itching for revenge on Demon Lord Revolt. And this guy has probably killed so many people, we can't even comprehend it. But the fact that he pissed off Ganao, he killed his partner, he's hungry for revenge. He wants to get back at Demon Lord Revolt. And this scene right here is very badass. Like, you picture him coming through the tunnel, but he's actually like just watching atop this tower, and right off rip, he starts attacking. And this guy is huge. He's very menacing. He's got this half-snake body, these insane muscles. Again, with the mask over his eyes. He has the glowing red eyes that we saw in the previous episode. This is Demon Lord Revolt. This guy is a menacing character. And I love this next scene here. Ganao is just functioning on business. He does not care about dialogue with Revolt. Even though dialogue might give him some clues to anything else, he does not care. He just wants to kill Revolt. Demons have nothing good to say. They cannot give any sort of advice or information. They just need to be exterminated. And that's how Ganao sees it. I mean, he just probably has this burning rage inside of him, again, that we don't see, but we can probably tell is there, and he's ready to fight. He's ready to hand it to this demon who's caused so much destruction in the Northern Plateau for who knows how long. And I will say, Stark holds his own on this already. Like, you can tell they're struggling, but Stark does hold his own for a lot of this battle so far. And this is the end of the episode, unfortunately, but I can tell this is going to be a very intense battle. And I hope nothing bad happens to anybody, but we don't know. We just don't know. I absolutely love this slow-mo scene. This is so cool. I love how they kind of just animated him in the background with this slight blur on him. It's so badass. And this is one of the coolest scenes in the whole episode. When he grows these wings, it's so cool. It's so badass. Ganao is very, very ready to finally defeat Demon Lord Revolt. And I cannot wait for the next episode. So that's the end of Frieren episode sort of 6 and mostly 7. I'm hoping to not get any more delays. I know I was sick earlier, so it kind of messed everything up with the Olympics and the delay and things like that. So hopefully we have no more delays coming on with Frieren, and I cannot wait for episode 8. We have 2 more episodes after that for the season, and I think we already got confirmed for a Core 2. If my memory serves me correctly, I already saw on Twitter we got a Core 2 coming for more Frieren, so don't you worry. We'll have more of this series coming out pretty soon. And that's all for today. If you found anything interesting, informative, want to leave a comment down below on what you thought of the episode or episodes, let me know in the comments down below. We'll see you for next Frieren episode number 8.